first things first, you're going to need to take these 3 out for the latch. Now, don't worry about this going back into the right place, because these are kind of, they're inset. So this isn't going to move. This is going to go right back to where it came from, because the striker is what actually sets the door inside, outside, up, and down. So don't be afraid to take these out, because these will come right out, and this will allow this latch to move around where you can get some more play to be able to get this out. And the next thing you're going to need to do is this one going to need to come out. Now that's a 10 millimeter, and the other one goes right through here in the back. You're going to have to get into it. That's also a 10 millimeter. Now don't worry if the door, like I'm lucky enough the door panel is already off. It's not hard to take a door panel off, because you're probably going to drop this one in there, but you can just reach in there and get it. So, and then once you get that done, then this one slips out from the top, and you'll have to pop the lock out of it. You will have to pop the lock out of the bracket before you'll be able to take that handle out, because it just won't let it slip through it before you do. And you have to pull it out from the bottom and slip it out, the lip out from underneath the door. Okay, so basically what you have to do with this is you have to reach, while it's up here, you have to reach in from behind, press the tab on the lock. Okay, press that tab on that lock and push it out of the lock, and then it'll slide right out like this. So now we have access to the rod for the door and to the lock mechanism in the back. And then we have access also to the lock mechanism here in the back. And we're basically just gonna take that off, put the new lock cylinder on it while it's like this, put the new door handle on it while it's like this, slide it in, lock it into place, and then we should have our new door panel in place. But I also did take those loose so that you have a little bit of wiggle room. See, wiggle room. So you got a little bit more, see, wiggle room, so you have a little bit more play, so you can get everything out so that it's easy to get to. Okay, quick tip, figure something out. All right, this is the original piece. All right, see how that lock mechanism sits a little bit above the plastic? So, all right, this is the new one with the new lock. See how it sits a little bit underneath there? Now, this is after me filing on this for about 5 minutes. So this is going to make it difficult, and this is what I found out the hard way. This is going to make it difficult to get that lock mechanism to lock into place, because you're going to have that tange, that bracket for the lock arm. So make sure that what you have to do is you have to grind that down. I just used a file, a flat file. I know it's old, but it works. And I'm just whittling down on this plastic right here, and through right here, to make sure that that lock mechanism doesn't have anything obstructing it, so it ends up sitting above or flush like the original did. All right, there's a quick tip for you. Okay, here we go. See how that's, I'll give you a better view. See how that's nice and even? Now when you put your key in, that's actually what it's going to be like once the key is pushed in, you're putting pressure on it. So see how that's got that nice little lip on it? That's what you want. That's going to make that thing work correctly and be able to lock that cylinder in place once you get that backing bar on there. Because once you get it on there, it makes it a pain in the ass, and I found that out the hard way, to get that to lock into place, that little tab. Well, it's on this side. That little tab in there to pop up and lock that lock cylinder into place. So just like I said, just above, just like that. Okay, then it'll work perfect. And the rod assembly, we're just going to put it right back into place right now. We know what side it got to go in, so we're just going to punch this one in right through, lock it into place so we know we're good, just like that. And that's the actuator that opens the door. That's just it. That's just a plunger down. All right, another thing I want to show is this. This is just an old trick. It's just a cheap piece of tape inside the socket. But what that's going to let me do is that's going to let me angle that in that little hole back here, right there. Angle that in there and get that into that hole in there because it's just slightly off from the availability of that hole. So that helps that stay in there while you're getting that threaded in the hole. All right, just an old trick. And a long extension so you have a lot of room to move and jostle it around while you're using your headlight or setting up your light, trying to see that little spot you need to hit to get that thread started. But that's just an old trick. That works perfect. I mean, it ain't going nowhere. Okay, it ain't going nowhere. Okay, we're done with this job, and basically what we ended up with was, this is an original. This is a metal casting, this from the driver's side, and it's still a good handle, but while in Rome, you know. This one is a reman. This is a plastic. That one's plastic, so I don't think that one's been replaced. The 2 lock cylinders, and I had a couple extra clips for the door rods. Never throw away clips. Always keep them. Put them in a plastic bag. Keep them up. As you can tell, I have stuff. I keep a lot of things because you don't never know when you're going to need those, because those are hard to find sometimes. Or if you're going to get them, you're going to pay for them. And I used a file on the back of it. You've seen what that was for. I used the tape inside the socket to keep the nuts in place, the bolts in place when I was putting them inside the door. That pick right there, I used that to plunge the locking mechanism on it. Just a regular old screwdriver to pull things out of place. And a number 27 Torx bit. See if I can get that in focus here. Number 27. Yep, number 27 Torx bit for the door latches to loosen them up. And then of course my old trusty dusty alligator clip vice grips. These are like, I don't know if I could live without this tool. It's been so versatile for so many years. It's thin and it's not huge. It's not very big, as you can tell for the size of my hand. But I just use this thing for everything. If I ever lose this, I'll be lost. Okay, there you go. They're all done. They're both in. They're both working. They're both new. So I actually can lock up my truck now. It wasn't that difficult. It's just time consuming. Once you get the first one done, the second one goes a lot faster. Okay, but once you've done these a couple of times, it becomes old news. But I just want to reiterate, remember, you gotta file that piece down or make sure that the new lock cylinder fits flush or just above the plastic on the new ones, because you're not going to get metal ones. If you get metal ones, you might have to file that a little bit too. But you have to have that little bit of play in there to let it work right. All right, and save all the clips. If you have extra clips, like them new ones, they came with new clips on them, so I have extras, so those are going to be saved. It's not that hard of a job. It's just give yourself a couple hours, because there might be a 1 or 2 times you want to throw something, but other than that, it's a pretty simple, straightforward, just a couple of rods and a couple of clips. But you have to have the lock cylinder out of the door handle before you slide it into place, and then you can reach behind and push it into place where it goes and let it lock in. You can't put the lock cylinder in ahead of time. You have to put the door handle from the top, slide it in the top so that the spring mechanism is inside the door, inside the lip, and then reach in with your finger and press that inside. It can be aggravating, but it can be done. Just take a breath, back off, drink a beer, have a drink of something, and just get it, lock it in, and then you're good to go. If you liked all this content and all these little tips, give me one of those. Like, share, and subscribe. Y'all have a great day, because a great day today can mean an even better day tomorrow. Y'all be good.